Barrel rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno-monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Wednesday the 5th of the 5th, 2021. The time is 0455 GMT, Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime North American session. Right, yesterday then, Tuesday the 4th, we had a negative opposed driver in the euro at minus 99, front and back door flows then going mainly into the dollar at plus 98, into the pound at plus 5, and the yen was the negative rock at minus 4, activity plus or minus 103. Intra-week then, this is from Monday the 3rd, open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive unopposed driver in the pound at plus 257, no backdoor flows, the opposing negative flows mainly coming out of the euro at minus 97, out of the dollar at minus 90, and out of the yen at minus 70. Activity plus or minus 257. Intraday then, this is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive opposed driver in the pound at plus 41. Front and back door flows mainly coming out of the dollar at minus 38, out of the euro minus 6, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 3. Activity plus or minus 44. Right, what's been knocking this about? Tuesday late on, which was yesterday, we had some fairly positive New Zealand employment change data, and we also had some positive tier 2 bank service PMIs on the AUD. Right, Wednesday, which is today, we've got the US ADP, which is like a pre-run for the NFP, and US service PMIs. And tomorrow we've got the Bank of England rates decision, Thursday the 6th, and Friday we've got the NFP day, US non-farm payrolls. Right, and the other thing is the NZD data showed commodity exports to be the highest ever. Now, that's all very well and good. As you know, we're selling the NZD. However, you know that if the New Zealand dollar is getting very high commodity exports, so is the AUD. Right, anyway, something to bear in mind. Let's get rid of this and then look at the flows and the asset classes. Our trades are solidly in the positive now. We're about 600 points in profit. Basically, they've come back a bit as well due to that New Zealand data. Anyway, right, euro then. Euro's been weak except against the dollar and the Swiss, which are weaker. The yen is weak except against the dollar and the Swiss again. The pound is strong except against the CAD, the AUD and the NZD, so that's commodity currencies. The Swiss is weak except against the dollar. The CAD is strong except against the AUD, NZD. The AUD is strong except against the NZD. Remember, we've had that positive data, so all the usual suspects are buying the NZD at the moment, and the NZD is strong across the board, and the dollar is weak across the board. So what have we got then? We've got dollar weakness, New Zealand strength, commodity currency in general strength, and dollar and Swiss franc weakness. Looks very risk on. Likely to see equities start moving up. They've had a pause. It's likely to see equities moving on. So let's get rid of this and look at the asset classes. So let's let's have a look. So what we got? US dollar index. Basically, it broke. It's come back and it's come up a little bit. It's 0.4 from the floor. Gold double top is basically operating just above this support level here, and it's also 0.4 from our model floor. Oil has come up considerably. It's now 0.1 from the high, so oil's pretty much recovered. Wall Street broke, and it's now flatlining a bit. S&P double top broke. A slight fall off there in the S&P, but not much, well above the high. The tech took an age to break, and it's now sub that break there. Right, the US 10-year and the bond. The US 10-year is 0.44 from the floor. So basically the price has come up, the yields have come off. The bond is now 0.4 from the floor. So you've seen a yield close here between the US and the European. Basically, the European yields have come off. They've got weaker, and they start to catch up the weakness in the US yields, which will have a bearing on the euro dollar. That will put downward pressure on the euro dollar, maybe. Right. So copper. Let's have a look at copper. Remember, it had 5 pumps. Came back to the second pump, went back to base camp, then it came up, it sold off, and it's now above the previous high. So copper has fully recovered, and some. US steel, remember, it was sold off at the double top, it broke, it's come back, and it's now basically 0.05 from the high, 5% from the most recent high. Now, all this is sort of flagging risk, another pump in equities, quite frankly. It looks like they're going to hit the go button on equities. Risk on scenarios. So let's have a look then. We've got we're short US dollar against the euro, the pound, the AUD, short NZD against euro, pound, CAD, NZD. Right, commodity currencies likely to be coming up, but it's relative to the news, not NZD, AUD. So it's relative to their positioning. The NZD is pretty cooked. It didn't get much of a bounce off that strong data. Always telling. The likelihood is you're going to see dollar weakness in this sort of risk-on scenario, and that's going to pump through into a rising equities, a rising commodities. Oil is up, so you like to see a good pump in the CAD, and basically our scenario is starting to pan out. We're in about 600 points profit. It's been rocky because we're in this transition period, but nevertheless that's where we are. So hope that was useful. See you again tomorrow for the daily briefing. Thank you very much.